I mean, I'm so out of sorts. I even have a hot drink.
You have a hot
and
drink.
a cold drink.
And a cold drink. It's the McDLT of drinks.
I think I'm going to start hot. Because eventually they
probably
all just
should
move,
because
they move to the center, right? And
right,
anyway,
they equalize,
so,
and
yeah.
Usually hot drinks suffer more from losing their optimal temperature than cold drinks do.
Yeah, I look very pixelated on my screen to you.
You look kind of pixely on my screen too. What's up, 8-bit Jason?
I don't know what else I can do. Well, this is probably... Look, if you're wondering what episode should I actually watch on YouTube, I don't know. This may be the one. This may not be the one. You just have to decide, do I want to see... Yeah, I think it would be the one to watch because it's low def, Jason, which means all the imperfections, most of the imperfections are hidden except for my face.
Yeah,
you look
in the chaos.
You look extra crisp and nice. I mean, like my download speed must be great.
It must be. I
Yeah,
did do a little
fantastic.
bit of rearranging. I've repositioned my chocolate bar to where it's in front of. You remember, like a long time ago, maybe episode like 1 or 2, that we talked about how I have a power outlet and a network jack halfway up the wall because of where the people who built the house thought I needed to put my television. Mm-hmm. Well, I've shifted it over to where it's in front of those things, and now I'm powering the lights from that jack.
Okay.
And I'm no longer using that network jack. I'm using the one across the hall.
What's that
So
have to
it's
do
just
with the location
now
of
it's
your
truly
chocolate bar?
like, well, because if I'm sitting at my computer, I'm down here. So I had to move it so that it would be in front of those things.
Wait, did you move the board or your whole computer setup?
The board. My desk is still
like
where it used to be, but now I'm on like this sort of stool thing where I can like do like poor man's, like, check this out. It's like bullet time.
Oh, you
from
can
the
do the
Matrix.
Menomina. You can do the Menomina thing. Oh, you're gonna totally.
Pretty awesome.
You're gonna great as you asphyxiate yourself on your But you could do the whole like come back like Menomina like. Menomina. Yeah, that's it. That's
So just so I could do all that stuff, I shifted this over about 6 inches and up about 5. So,
well, good.
And I do it all for you. Everything.
Well, I do appreciate these things.
Do it for you.
I'm
like Bryan Adams.
You don't ever like that song. It's from Robin Hood.
It is from Robin Hood. And then later on, he did.
So stupid.
What is it? All for One. For the
I don't know. I stopped liking Brian, whatever his name was, Brian.
And he did that with Rod Stewart and
I don't
Sting.
That's the thing. Okay. What's this artist's name again?
Bryan Adams. Not Ryan Adams.
No, I know, but I kept going back and forth. Like Brian Williams. No, not Brian.
A little different.
So there's something about Bryan Adams and Rod Stewart that I just don't like.
Both of them?
I feel
or
like
only
Rod
when
Stewart,
they're together, or like
apart. Rod Stewart, I would hang out with. I think he'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Get some
he's
hair
kind of
tips.
old now, but like, yeah, sugar water, man, sugar water. But I don't know Bryan Adams. No, I don't like either of their music. I don't like their music.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I like older Rod Stewart. His sort of. I'm not as big a fan of his like 80s ballad stuff as
it's like you not liking Michael McDonald.
I like Michael McDonald.
Okay, I thought you didn't like him. Somebody I know doesn't like him.
No, it wasn't me. I don't think I've even mentioned it. Really. He's not like somebody I run around seeking out. I don't think. He's on my playlist in a couple of places, but he's not.
Oh, I know who doesn't like him. I'm not going to name
posters.
his name. I'm not going to say name. I'm not going to name names because you got to protect the innocent. But
yeah,
poor taste.
Innocent, they wouldn't listen to the show. But,
not anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like I haven't done this in forever.
Yeah, that's because you haven't.
I feel like I missed you a lot. Although I did get to see you last week, and that was nice.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I really feel I had the not the FOMO because I was Mo. So whether I was faux of it or not, I was still mowing it. But the fact that I didn't have the park reservations for Magic Kingdom, so I missed out on all the 50 stuff.
You didn't miss anything.
I was in Epcot.
You missed nothing. Though. You chose well. I actually bailed.
You bailed?
Marcus, I was there, I came, and I wasn't even there like ugly early. I came to the park, to Magic Kingdom on Friday, the 50th anniversary, October 1st. I came there at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
It was fine. The lines to get merchandise, every store. If you were a store, you had a line like a block or 2 or 3 or 4 long.
They were like that at Epcot too. I was surprised.
It was insanity.
There wasn't a line like for Soarin', but there was a line.
That's what I'm saying. Everything
shop.
else was walk on. The only thing I actually waited in line for that day from an attraction standpoint was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and Michelle and I went on that first, and we waited 30 minutes. Which is nothing.
See, I figured that would be like everything over there would be just swamped. But
so Ariel was a walk on. Speedway was a walk on. Space Mountain was essentially a walk on. Buzz Lightyear was a walk on. Big Thunder Mountain was a walk on. Tom Sawyer was a raft on. I mean, it was.
So everyone was just getting merchandise?
Jungle Cruise, I had to wait. Jungle Cruise was the longest, most miserable wait of the day. I had to wait. It was like 40 minutes, and Jungle Cruise's queue is just terrible. They want you to feel like you're suffering in the jungle.
I rank Thunder Mountain Railroad's just under it, but yeah, it's near the bottom.
Thunder Mountain Railroad, you're both in shade, but like Thunder Mountain Railroad, you're at least spaced away from other people for the most part.
Well, I guess it depends on how they've rearranged it.
You have stuff to see and do, and there's cool sound effects, and like there's things you can see. It the
always
attraction.
Feels like the one that's the hottest though, for not being outside, like under the sun.
Interesting.
Anyway. Jungle Cruise. I mean, there's very little difference between the two, just structurally speaking. So,
Jungle Cruise and Big Thunder Mountain.
Well, the queue line area. Yeah, you're just amongst a lot of wood.
No, there's a lot. When's the last time you waited in line for Big Thunder Mountain?
Structurally, not like theming wise. No, I mean, you're under a wooden roof in both, but you're outside.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess that there is indeed a difference.
There's interactive queue elements in Big Thunder Mountain. There's sound effects.
I'm surprised they haven't done that with Jungle Cruise with as many renovations as they've put that ride through.
I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have much room to work with, I guess.
Thunder Mountain,
I don't know. Yeah, because they do have that big plaza-like area in front of Jungle Cruise. It doesn't make any sense. Like why they...
Especially now that they took those remote control boats out of there.
Yeah, remember that? That was so much
fun. Those were cool.
I mean, it didn't fit at all. Like, what's the deal?
It was weird. But it was fun. You throw in a quarter and you buzz a boat around for...
Oh, and the shooting gallery's back.
Is it back? Is it still quarters and all of that stuff?
It was free on the first. It was free. I didn't do it, but
remarkable bit of not profit-oriented thing for Disney.
Yeah, I'm thinking they didn't intend that. But
they hadn't debugged the program or something.
Yeah.
Somebody said it on free play.
But it was we got off Jungle Cruise. It was 7:30, 7:40. I don't remember. Fireworks were going to start at 9. We needed to eat, and we just took a peek at the hub at Main Street. And I wasn't even set. I'm not going to try to watch it from the hub. I'm just going to maybe watch it from the end of Main Street or something. You couldn't get a spot.
I don't know.
Mark is like it was so jam packed. I felt unsafe.
Yikes.
Yeah, and they even did that thing where they opened up that walkway area on the east side of Main Street. So you could bypass Main Street if you needed to get up to the top of the park. They opened that up. And I'm thinking to myself, like, they were using the reservation system and they stopped the park hopping. Like, you couldn't park hop from, say, Epcot or Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom.
I didn't think to try, but that makes sense. Yeah.
They called it off. It was functional, but they called it off around. It was shortly thereafter. I mean, shortly after it was available. So you wouldn't normally be able to do it until 2 p.m. and they shut it off pretty early. So they were obviously worried about capacity, but there was too many. There was too many people. There was too many people, and to the point where, it's bad when people were leaving because it wasn't going to be a good experience to stay for the main event.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
Yeah, that would, no.
Right? So we did. We left, and I just could hear the fireworks from afar when I got home. But I've watched them since. I've watched them twice since. And I have opinions.
Did they do anything special for the 50th, like on the day? Like, you know how they did that for Illuminations for like 35th at Epcot, where they did Illuminations and then at the end they did this little yay Epcot thing?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay, good. So you didn't really miss anything that you can't go back and see later.
I'm not even interested in seeing it again. It's not good. Marcus, you remember how I felt about Harmonious?
I do.
Harmonious is better than Enchantment.
Okay. Well, if
you watch Enchantment and then you watch Harmonious, you go, it's not so bad.
Well, my opinion of Harmonious is still not. It is neither positive or negative. It is underwhelming. I just kind of found that it's worth seeing. It's entertaining.
Yes, it's definitely worth seeing.
It's entertaining. It's fun. The music, I think the music is good in that it's like cool
music,
sort of covers of the songs and arrangements of the songs, and the medley kind of works, But I just it's not inspiring. It's not, and I try not to be like nothing can be as good as Illuminations, but this didn't feel like it made the effort to try to be better than Illuminations.
It's from a show standpoint, it's much better than Illuminations from a extravaganza kind of sense, right?
The technicality of it, the cool set thing,
lighting,
and the screens,
right.
Sure.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Problem is, it's beautiful for 20 minutes long. It's beautiful for 20 minutes, and then it's an abomination for the rest of the day.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It just looks hideous all day long, and destroys the line of all the things we've talked about before. I don't want to belabor it. But anyway, people need to make up their minds.
What? People are upset about the new show. That's strange. I haven't heard anything about it.
But I don't think I mean, it's not for me. It's not the kind of show that would bring me back.
Yeah, if I'm there and it's going, I'll watch it. But I'm not. I got to get over there and watch it.
No, for me, I'll be like, I'd rather see the Spaceship Earth show because they have lights going on.
That thing is cool.
So I'd rather go see that and then get out of the park before everybody else.
Yeah.
But same with Enchantment. Enchantment. Bring Wishes, not Wishes. Wishes is great. Bring Happily Ever After back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because this stinks. Man, Enchantment stinks.
I have to see it.
Marcus, this is supposed to be the fireworks for the 50th anniversary, right?
Yeah, I know.
There's no
same
reference.
Thing with Harmonious.
There's no reference at all to Walt Disney, to Roy Disney, to the 50 years that precede this show. There's no reference to any classics. There's no When You Wish Upon a Star. There's nothing that's not.
There's no When You Wish Upon a Star.
Not anything of it. None of it.
If there is a song that is the default for Walt Disney World as a whole and Magic Kingdom in particular, it's that.
I'm gonna have to watch it again tonight now because now I'm gonna make sure I'm right, because if I'm not, people are gonna be like, he's so wrong. I've watched it 3 times now, and I've looked for it, and I don't think it's there. There's no Goosebumps moment.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get goosebumps from people, especially like Disney fanatics, by just give us a little Walt, a little voiceover of Walt.
Yeah, the friggin' sound bites we've heard 12 million times, and
how about Roy, the guy who gave his life to make this thing happen? Like,
no kidding.
I mean, died 2 months later. Like,
and he was the one that stepped in and said, "No, it's going to be Walt Disney World. It's not going to be Disney World. It's going to be Walt Disney World because it's all about Walt. This is his thing."
And then they picked the music. So they have Moana, and they have Princess and the Frog, and they have but they're not. But it's almost like Harmonious got the good songs.
Are there different songs?
And Enchantment, they're different songs. So Enchantment got like the other songs.
Harmonious got Part of Your World, and Enchantment got Les Poissons. Like, why? What? Why?
It's like that. Yes.
There's even like the cheap stuff.
And we like cheap thrills. Like, we like cheap. Like, give us some pirates again. We like fire and pirates. We love that, right? No. And the message is essentially the same as Happily Ever After, which was like the magic's in you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? But at least it was a little more nuanced. It was like a little more like with Happily Ever After, it was all about the key to the magic lies inside of yourself, kind of thing. It was like this is just more like the magic's in you.
So shut up.
The magic's in you. I just feel like we've come so far from Wishes was focused on like you have to believe.
Yeah.
You have to believe, you got to make a wish. It's very Magic Kingdom oriented, right? It's fantasy.
You have to dream.
It's fantasy.
All that stuff too.
Yes, yes. No, and then it kind of drifted towards the whole, no, actually the magic's in you. You don't wish for it anymore. It's like right there. It's in you.
The magic was in you all along.
It's all along. Right. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, get up before you die. The magic's in you. Come on.
The theme of this is apparently, the drill.
Yes, exactly. Right. Which, I mean, at least it's more straightforward than Harmonious, which is, all around the world, people sing songs. And here are some of them. And then at the end,
from some of the countries.
So lift your, if you can sing a song, if you can sing a ditty, you can lift yourself up by your bootstraps. The world one day will be fair. Maybe. Possibly someday. As long as you spend enough money in Disney.
Right.
And
also we have no German songs.
Yes, and take a song with you, except if you're going to Germany or
there are no German
the UK
songs for you.
Or Canada.
Was there not a UK song? There was no Mary Poppins or nothing?
Nothing. No.
Oh, man. Or Great Mouse Detective or something.
That's what Aristocats was. A Great Mouse. Chitty Bang Bang. Oh wait, that's not Disney.
Rescuers. Sorry. I think that was that
was Australia.
No, that's
Down Under.
Down Under. Rescuers Down Under. Yes. And the clue was in the title.
Right.
I think Rescuers was. I just keep.
I don't know. Pete's Dragon was America. I don't know. I also don't understand.
Swampland or something. A lot of swamp in Rescuers.
I also feel like it's almost like Disney had to pay itself. Like the way that they picked, the way that they licensed the songs or something. Like they only used these 6 movies. Like we're only picking music from these 6 movies.
Yeah, the ones you were mentioning.
In all the shows.
Those are the ones in Harmonious.
They're the same show. I'm telling you, Marcus, you're going to lose your mind. You've got to watch this because you're going to think, oh my God,
need to go
this is just terrible.
See this.
And the pyrotechnics they're not even as good as Happily Ever After.
See, and that was one of my problems with Harmonious. It was like, this is just, I mean, I know they're big and bright and bang and ooh and ah, but there's nothing innovative about them. These are standard run-of-the-mill, blowy-uppy spheres of lights and things.
Well, I do appreciate the reference to Federal Hill in Baltimore City, because those who are familiar with Federal Hill in Baltimore City will know that there's this hill that overlooks the Baltimore Inner Harbor, and at the top of the hill, there are cannons positioned, and they happen to be facing the city. Which leads you to think, like, why would cannons be facing the city? Well, why is there a cannon if you go to Caribbean Beach Resort? If you go to that little island, the little, what's that? Caribbean Cay. Like, there's those cannons there that face the Riviera. Because you never know when you're going to have to defend yourself against
France.
This French and Italian alliance or something. Right? Well, this is like, there's this celebration of that same element in Harmonious where this contraption that you've been watching all night, look beautiful and have fountains, starts shooting at you.
Shooting at you. Yes, it is.
At you. Yes. Oh, it's been beautiful. It's like, oh, the fountains are so elegant and lights up and it's beautiful. And then it goes,
Skynet takes over.
You're like, oh, it's shooting at me. Yeah. And then we start shooting back.
Oh, right, because we've got them along the,
you're like, go get them.
And stuff. It becomes a firefight. That's what you want at Disney World. Hi. Welcome to World Showcase, where things have devolved into a shooting war.
I don't understand what's happening now. Are we battling? Are we singing? Is this part of the song? Taking a song with me?
We can do both.
I don't understand. There's no story. There's not even a good message. Take a song with you, but only part of it that you can sing because the rest of it's in a foreign language. Good luck with that. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we did the same thing with Remy. Give you half of the ride experience.
Yeah, we rode that.
We've talked about it.
October 1st. I don't know about that. We talked about the bilingual aspect of it.
I've talked to somebody, but it's frustrating. It's annoying. It's. I haven't even been on it, but I've heard people tell me
it's not consistent.
But that's so my friends in the UK, our friends in the UK, schooled me on this because they said that it's exactly the same in Disneyland Paris, where you get like English or English French or French English, and then and I was confused because I thought, well, wait, so do you get like the line in French and then the line in English? Like, no. Mm-mm. You get a line in French and then another line in English. It's not the same line. You get so half the story is told in French.
Somebody says something in French and somebody responds to that in English. It's weird.
Right.
It's really
Which works
weird.
In Europe because Europeans actually learn other languages.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess who doesn't?
Yeah. The people
Americans
that don't live like 15 miles away from 3 different languages.
And also, the rest of the world pretty much isn't learning French as a second language either.
Yeah, there's areas of Canada, and I believe Haiti.
So people who are coming from South America, Brazil, people coming from
Germany,
wherever other people come from. Forget the Germans. The Germans are screwed. We're not even talking about the Germans anymore. Germans are done. You won't recognize anything. You're lucky if your trains are still here the next time you come. So anyway, you gotta watch. You gotta see what I'm talking about. Can you still see this thing in my head? Is it still? Yeah, it's still there a little bit.
You're kind of pixelated, so. But I can see it's
kind of blending in a little bit.
It's like it might be
It's gone down. I did ice it for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Man, so a chair, apparently, huh?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle of the summer, I turned our sprinklers off because it was raining all the time. I'm like, why am I running sprinklers when it's raining? Right? So I turned the sprinklers off. That was fine. And then the other day I noticed, the grass is starting getting brown. I need to I need to turn the sprinklers back on because it hasn't rained in a while. Yeah. So, so I just, okay, I'm going to go do that. So I go out there and I turn them on, but if they're not coming, I like put it on automatic. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should put it on manual and run it manual just to make it, just to like run it. And then I was like, no, I'll just put it back on automatic. When I put it back on automatic, then everything started coming on. So everything's coming on, and I'm like getting soaked because, of course, the first thing to come on is the thing like right there. Whoever programmed that? Why would you set area 1 to be this area where you actually set the areas? That doesn't make any sense. Make that area 2 so it gives you at least you have a fighting chance of getting away.
Yeah, it's like the delay when you set the house alarm. It gives you a chance to get out.
I was like, I'm like, and of course I'm not like wearing a bathing suit, so I like close the thing. I hope I close the thing. I don't even know. So then I go back in the yard and I go back in the house. Or I get to the house. I get to go back to the house and I'm like, I'm wet. I got to dry myself off. So there's a towel there on the table or on the chair. One of the chairs out in the lanai, like chair like what you put around like a patio table kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I dry my legs off, and I bend down to dry my, because I can't, my arms aren't long enough to reach the bottom of my legs without bending. And so I lean down and boom, hit my head.
Oh, wow.
On the edge of a metal chair.
So you basically like head butted it.
I headbutted.
As you were moving down.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe you fell off a chair. Okay.
No, apparently I actually apparently I lower my head very fast.
Apparently.
When you're doing that, because it hit,
and then you suddenly stop.
And it was one of those things where I knew it wasn't like a concussion worthy kind of thing, because it's like a point. It's not like but it was like a point. So I knew immediately, like, oh, that's not going to be good. And then I get inside and I feel like, oh my god, it was like Fred Flintstone. I was like, oh, this is like these things actually happen. Like it's like cartoonish, like where the little Woody Johnson that comes out of your head.
He's got the little hairs on the end of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, goes, holy cow!
A little slide whistle in action.
So I'm sure that'll have a nice bruise there tomorrow. But immediately what I noticed, the reason I sent you a pin about it was a visual pin, is because I just wanted to blame somebody.
Oh yeah. No,
immediately, it was like, oh,
when that kind of thing happens,
who put
you're
this
looking for
chair
somebody.
Here? Who didn't push the chair back into position?
Who designed this chair?
Oh no, I didn't go
somebody's
that far.
Somebody's getting blamed here.
Surely it's Michelle's fault or Henry's fault for like sitting in this chair and then not putting it back where it belonged. Because but for that, when it hit my head
and cloaking it, making it invisible.
Nothing to. It's like what? And I think it's in those moments that you realize like what your true character is. Those are those moments. Have you noticed? But I think I flip back and forth. Like what's the difference between? So that happens, and the first thing I think is like, who's to blame for this, right? And then there's those other moments where something happens. You're like, stupid Jason. Like. Yeah.
What's the difference between those two things?
What's the difference between like when I decide like, oh, it's my fault, or when it's someone else? Like, is it because it really hurts? It's got to be someone else's fault. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
physical pain equals someone else's fault.
That's a good question.
Embarrassing moment equals you, Jason. I don't know.
We'll have to start tracking this.
I will.
So we got data point 1, the chair.
It's like in my abacus.
Blame other people.
Right.
Now I just have to wait for the next one.
Oh my god! And I had my walk today. I wasn't even going to talk about this because I don't know how to talk about this, but now I'm already talking about it. So here we go. Off the diving board. There's these people out. I've never seen these people before, which is never a good thing. I walked at a different time of day. That's the problem. I walked at like 4:30. I never walk that late. So I'm going to encounter all sorts of people that I did. Like I'm in a race half the walk because I kind of beat these people to the corner. You know how the whole thing goes. And then I get to this other corner and there's this father and I assume son out. They don't look alike. The one guy is very tan, very like, kind of might have just come off of like a Latin American fireman poster kind of like, or calendar kind of thing. Okay. Like okay. Eric Estrada.
I know those calendars well.
Yeah. I knew you. I know you do. And then there's this little kid who looks like this kid, like Denny, the kid I was supposed to fight in elementary school, who I didn't end up fighting. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I think we did.
I didn't. Anyway, and he's out there, and he's like on a little scooter thing, and I'm going to walk sort of past him, and I say, I have my headphones in and whatever, and I say hi to the father, like, hey, and I look down to acknowledge the child, because I'm going to say hi.
Foreshadowing.
And you know what he does to me?
What?
In front of the father?
Oh, Lord.
I assume it's his father. He says, hi. Marcus, I'm not even doing it justice. That's not an exaggeration. He looks at me. He's down there, and he's like, hi.
And then the dad, like, what? Like, reacts not at all, or
it was like no reaction.
But
I felt like he was speaking to him in some other language. But at the same time, I think I kind of had my noise canceling effects on my head, so I don't really know. It's like kind of a wah-wah effect, so I don't really know. I'm just going to keep moving. I'm just going to keep moving. And then I hear the kid coming up from behind me, screaming like, "Hey!" Like he's still there. He's gonna come get me. And I'm not turning around. And I'm planning in my head, like, what am I going to do in this moment? Because if the kid comes in front of me and does this again, I don't know what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't happen. It never happens.
That's good.
He turns back at some point. I don't know whether his father called him back. I don't know whether he got a whooping. I don't know whether they both had a good laugh about it. I don't know whether he sprayed COVID all into my face. I have no idea what just happened.
Maybe one of the Walking Dead guys came and it was
the weirdest thing. It was, I have weird encounters, and that makes the top. It's got to make like the top 10.
Crazy
50,
feral scooter kid.
Yes, they're right. Whose father seemed to be like Eric Estrada. I don't know, like it was weird. It was very weird. It was weird.
Punching the zombie.
And I thought about it, I was like, I'm gonna pin this. And like, I don't even know how I don't even know how to explain it.
Well,
oh my God.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
We did do the when we were at Epcot. We got on the virtual queue for Remy, which I completely forgot to get.
So did you do it at 7 a.m?
No, we got there at about 2.
And you can still get on?
Well, this is the story. Okay. We got in there, and Emily discovered that she had left her mask in the car. And so I was going to go into one of the gift shops and get just a fine festive Disney mask. And the lady said that the entire park is sold out of masks, which I was a tad flabbergasted about. But everywhere I went, that was correct. But on my way out, I was like, oh.
How are they sold out of masks?
I don't know. I can't, but I did not see a mask in the entire park yesterday, for sale. So I don't know what's up with that. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
But I did manage to finagle some of the people at First Aid to give up some of their masks. There you go. But on my way out of the gift shop, I remembered, oh crap, there's a virtual queue for Remy, and I forgot all about it. And I jumped on it, and it told me I was in backup group 180, and we're boarding group 5, or whatever it was. And I was like, well, we'll see what happens here. And as we kept going, the groups got later and later, to the point where, while we were tired and we're kind of ready to put a period on the day, it was just so impossibly close. It was like, what, they're boarding 163 now. Ooh, we're getting close. Maybe we can make it, And it became one of those things where I was like, I don't even really want to necessarily ride the ride. I have to know if we'll be able to get in, if 180 is going to make it. If I went home and I didn't find out if 180 boarded or not, I would never forgive myself.
You still can watch the app even from home.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But I mean, like, I needed to know, like, at the time, could we do it? And we did. We got on like at 8:48 or something like that. And we were off of the ride just before 9 o'clock. And I was like, hey, perfect. We can watch the fireworks. And we walked over there and I looked at the thing and the fireworks are at 9:45. For whatever reason, I was like, okay, never mind, we're out. And so, yeah, so it was, we had a friend in town and she's very food oriented. And so, and she loves the Ratatouille movie. So I was glad that she was able to ride that because, Did
you do the crepes? Did you get crepes?
We didn't get crepes. We saw the crepes. We got like most of World Showcase. I mean, we hit pretty much all of the kiosks, yeah. Wow, and there was this was the thing that dismayed me early in the in Food and Wine, which starts in I think next year's has already started. The lines, especially at the French one, were we're talking like Frozen Ever After lines here, But when we were there the other day, man, it was no big deal. I waited maybe behind two people,
Yeah, that's the
at
best.
the longest,
God, Marcus,
Fantastic.
I hate queues. Oh, I hate it. I hate waiting I'd rather, if I'm going to wait for food, I better be sitting at a table.
Yeah.
I do not like standing in line for food. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm standing in line so I can spend $15 on an hors d'oeuvre. Like, that is ridiculous. Please, for my money, I'm going to go have a real legit dinner somewhere nice. I'm going to go to Citrico's or Topolino's or something. Spend the same amount of money I would have assembling all these tiny little plates that I stood in line to make over the course of 6 hours. That's just...
I was just thinking how awesome it would be to bring a hoagie roll and then go around to each one of these things and get the little amuse-bouche and then line them up in there and make the weirdest sandwich ever.
Dude, we got to do that. Because we can just pick the things that we think would be good on the sandwich.
Right. And then it's got,
but we would get to pick what we put on each other's sandwich.
Oh, see, now that would be interesting.
Yeah, and so do we play nice or do we play that's...
Yeah, you gotta be nice.
By the end of it, it could be a disaster. Snails.
Well, it's gonna be a disaster either way, I think. I don't think there's...
You know what's good on a hoagie? Escargot. Yeah, let's start with that.
No, thanks. Rubber ball of horse manure.
I think that's a great idea. No, actually, what I said, I think I was saying this to Michelle. I would really pay good money if I could go to Festival Hall, for example. If I could go in there and sit at a table and order from the food that's at the kiosks, just make a meal of that. I would spend so much money.
Oh man!
If you could just give me a menu and I'm sitting there with friends and they're going to bring me the food. Because they can just make it in the other kitchen. And, God, I mean, how much would you spend? I mean, we would spend lots of money for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you could do pre-fiche kind of things where it's the flight of
check the box or something. You either check the boxes
European
or something.
Flight and just kind of mix and match. And you could have one of those sushi things where you take the golf pencil and you make, that'd be really awesome. Yeah.
And then it's because it's not like you get to enjoy the music around the world anyway because you have the concerts going.
We didn't see the concert. We didn't hear any of the concert stuff.
Well, that's good.
The Taiko drummers are back.
Even for a weekend.
And that was cool.
I love that. Isn't that great?
Yeah. And I assume other acts were back.
I wonder if the Taiko drummers sound really nice with the mariachi band going in the
I bet you they could be louder. They got that big old drum. They started like a rivalry thing. That would be awesome. Pretty soon it's fighting in the streets.
Fighting in the street with drums and guitars or something.
Classical guitars.
Trumpets. Yeah. I don't know.
Cat got guitar. Oh yeah, well, it'd be like the Breaking War from Beat Street.
Do you remember Beat Street? It was Beat Street and breakdance were out at the same time. We've talked about this. We've talked about this because that was the one I called into the radio show.
Yeah.
No, I know we talked about this.
And then Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That was good too.
Let's see, it was Breaking that had Ozone, right? Ozone's the only one I can remember.
Dude, I don't remember the name of the guy I had a conversation with yesterday, and you want me to remember like some side character from a B movie from the 80s?
Yeah, that's not something that you would know.
Ozone. I know Frozone.
Yeah, he was later. I bet he can breakdance though. You can get some good spinning on the ice.
Speaking of breakdance, I got to talk about chasing the lizard. Chasing the lizard.
Yes, you do. We've got like a plethora of pins.
This isn't a long story, but this only happens in my world, and I don't know if it's because maybe it happens in everyone's world, but I'm the only one that pays attention and cares enough to pay attention to it. But I don't like to kill things.
Yeah, I know that about you.
And except for bonsais, apparently. And I'm going out to my car to, I don't know, where was I going? I was kind of in a hurry, actually. Oh, I remember now. I wasn't necessarily in the hurry to get someplace, although I was. But there were people coming up the sidewalk, but at a pace where I was projecting that if I didn't do something quickly, it was going to be that awkward moment where I have to back out the time that you're just getting to the driveway.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I don't want to, but they're not moving quickly, and I can tell they're the kind of people who are not taking me into consideration.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the right of way. So I'm just going to get my stuff done and get going, right? Because I don't need to do anything. I know where I'm going. As this is all happening in my head, as I approach the vehicle, I walk around the front and I see a lizard. He looks up at me. I look at him, and he's like, "Oh!" and he scoots under the car. And I'm thinking, "Oh, come on, lizard! Just stay where you are, lizard. Because I don't want to crush you, lizard."
They don't want it either.
Right. So I get in the car. I see, look for the people. Okay. I turn the car. Reverse. Look. Okay, good. I'm going to clear. So I start to go backwards, slowly without turning my wheels because I didn't want to crush the lizard.
Right. Give him a heads up so he can run.
Cross my hand to God, I see the lizard in my backup camera on the ground, like
running away from your car.
Yes, but not fully, just like little bits at a time. So like, come on, lizard, and I'm backing out, and I'm watching him. He'll move a little further, like, and I'm walking, and now I'm looking at the people. I gotta go, lizard. I gotta get there. You're messing my timing up. And I like back it out a little bit more, and I see him like, and now we're in the street. He's in the street. I'm like, come on, lizard. You gotta clear the street. Get to the other side of the street. The people are coming. He finally moves. Okay, I could make the turn, and I go, and I didn't feel any like or anything like that. So I think he's fine.
How big is this lizard?
It was good enough to see on my backup camera.
Yeah, I was about to say, the ones I usually see are about like that.
He was like a full grown gecko thing, whatever those are.
You try to sell your life insurance or car insurance?
Nothing. Like, no one else does this. No one. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I like panicking over the situation. Like, I'm trying to not inconvenience the people on the sidewalk, and I don't want to kill the lizard. when they don't even care. The lizards. Did I tell you about the lizard in the lanai situation with the lizard? The cannibalism.
Cannibalism? I don't think so. I don't know that cannibalism is a topic we've addressed in this show.
So I think there must have been lizard eggs deposited somewhere on the lanai, like in the screen enclosure. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden, like almost overnight, there are all these little lizards.
Yeah.
Like teeny little baby lizards. Some tiny, some like not so tiny, but still tiny.
I like the little tiny ones.
I proceed to, okay, it's evacuation day. So I bring out the glass or the cup and and a piece of like, not cardboard, but like heavy stock paper that you get in the mail. Like, and I'm going around and boop. Okay, outside, here you go. Okay, be free. Go to the next one. Oh, you're a fast little bugger. Okay, we'll get you. Okay, gotcha. Okay, in the glass. Fly, be free. Okay, go back in. I'm getting all these guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm good at it, man. I'm like I would call myself like the Pied Piper of the lizards, but they don't actually want to be caught.
Right. So sort of the Steve Irwin of lizards.
Right. So there's this like medium-sized dude. He's a little fast. I can't get him, and he kind of darts away and gets into like this tree that we have plant that's in like a big pot in the back corner. But as I was chasing him, I see this other little dude, not a baby, but like a toddler, say, and
lizard toddler,
maybe like a 6-year-old, maybe not so much a toddler, like kindergarten, first grade, And I go to catch it, but the little guys are real fast. They're real fast. They're not smart, but they're fast. So they'll just go to the corner and be like, oh no, I'm locked up. Why can't I see I'm not moving anymore. Am I like frozen on your screen?
Yes, you are.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, now you're back.
Oh, now I'm back. Okay. So I go to the little dude and I try to get him. He kind of slips away, and as he slips away, the little teenage lizard, or like 20-year-old lizard, whatever he is, leaps from the trunk of this tree and snatches the little lizard in his jaws. So that the little lizards, like the medium lizard, has the little lizard like basically by the neck and front body in his jaws. And he's like, and the little lizard has opening his mouth like, help me, help me, help me. And I'm thinking like, I can't let this be happening. Like, I can't let this happen. Like, and I'm thinking like, well, Jason, don't intervene. And I feel like I'm like Kal-El all of a sudden. Like. Don't intervene in the...
You must not interfere with human whatever.
But little lizard...
Remember the Prime Directive.
Right. Like, maybe they're the deviant. Maybe he's a deviant, and I'm like one of the whatever the new people are called. No, No, maybe it's a deviant. What are the new people coming with the guy that shoots the lasers out of his eyes? So basically, the Marvel's version of DC comic characters that are going to be coming out.
The Eternals?
The Eternals, yeah. Hell, they're only allowed to intervene if it's, aren't they deviants or something? No, they're not called deviants. They're called something else. They're called.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying now with my cup. I'm trying to like chase down the bigger lizard carrying this little dude in his mouth. Mm-hmm. Who's like, and I can't. And he won't let him go. He's like, but he's not moving as fast as he was before. He's like, he wants to get away from me. But yeah, so I kind of like jostle him a little bit. Like, how do you like this? Hey, how do you like this?
Pick on some of your own size.
Yeah, and sure enough, he drops the little lizard, the little dude. Uh-huh. And I was able to catch him. And I took him out. And this time...
Is this the big one or the little one that you've caught?
The bigger one. Okay. The bigger one. I'm like, I'm taking you to like the far side of the yard. You go in timeout zone over here, buddy. Like, I'm not letting you loose where I'm letting all the other ones loose because I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be carnage. So I put him over there. I go back. I get the little lizard dude. I take him out, and I put him in a sort of separate area too. I'm like, I can't you don't know how to handle yourself. It's fine. You get eaten on your now. It's up to you.
So let me ask you this: are we sure that wasn't Mama Lizard picking up baby lizard to try to protect him from you?
I guarantee you, this thing was about he was going in for the meal. Like
really?
This was
okay.
Oh yeah, there's no Mama lizards don't. I don't think that they I'm pretty sure they just lay their eggs and leave.
Could be.
I don't think there's any
Well, my first reaction was he's like, okay. Junior is like not doing well. I'm going to pick him up and run with him.
If that's the case, well, one's in Siberia now.
Yeah, I was about to say. And so you were like, ha. You thought your kid was in danger before. I've put him down about 6,000 scale miles away from you.
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. For every lizard I save, I probably kill a lizard. I don't.
That was from It's a Wonderful Life, right? Every
what's
lizard that you save, you kill another lizard. That's how it goes.
So I met someone. Oh, that's right. Someone I really like told me they didn't like It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, really? It's been ages since I've seen it. I do need to watch it.
Well, you got to correct that.
Yeah. I need
At least once a year you should watch it.
It's so many people's Christmas sort of tradition. But
it's great. So good.
Christmas Vacation is our Christmas tradition.
Yeah. That's fine.
But,
that's fine. How are we doing for time? How are we?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. Why you got something else?
I've got so much,
crazy
Marcus.
lizard thing. Yes, we. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different pins since our last one. And 2 of them.
Oh wait, mine. You have a pin.
Yeah, I have 2 actually.
Yes, you do. We have
enough time for probably one of them.
Oh really? You want to pick one?
Well, I'll do this. Okay, so this happened like twice in rapid succession with some of the stuff that we're watching on TV. And so that's why it kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we have decided to rewatch the Netflix Daredevil because I never watched season 3. And I don't even know that I watched season 2. So with like Wilson Fisk coming back perhaps to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, which would be very awesome.
Wait. I don't understand any of the words you just said.
Okay, so are you familiar with Daredevil on Netflix? Are you familiar with Daredevil at all?
I know there's a show called Daredevil that's on Netflix. Okay,
so you don't know much about the
I don't even think
hero.
I realized it was in the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay. So we're starting from there. All right. So
I'm moving on to my cold beverage now.
Does it have alcohol in it? Because this is going to take a while.
No, it does not.
Well, anyway, the bad guy in the Daredevil series on Netflix in season 1 and 3 and kind of in 2. He's kind of the Avon Barksdale of Daredevil. And that is a guy named Wilson Fisk, who is commonly known as Kingpin, although they don't really call him that in the series. Now, he's mainly, or at least I have always seen him as a Spider-Man villain, but he's basically all of the New York MCU, well, not MCU, but Marvel vigilante-type street-level superheroes have to deal with Kingpin at some point or another. And so he's possibly coming to...
He never gets caught?
No, because, he's one of those supervillains, right? Mm-hmm. But all of this is completely beside the point.
Okay.
So...
I would expect no less.
But the show is basically an origin story of Daredevil, who is a blind lawyer named Matt Murdock, and his blindness has made all of his other senses massively acute. So he's like, he knows stuff's going on no matter what.
Wait, what's the lawyer part have to do with anything?
well, let's make some bloodthirst. No,
is it like it's Clark Kent is a reporter, so like this
right.
guy's a
So
lawyer,
like,
kind of
but you start with Matt Murdock. He's, hi, I'm a blind guy, and I am lawyering right now. And then later on, you find out that he's also beating the snot out of bad guys.
Got it.
And so, of course, he keeps this secret, and he has a close personal friend played by the extremely mediocre actor. And he's named Foggy in the show. And they have someone that works for them that is also their
Where does
Foggy.
he get the nickname Foggy? Because the guy's blind. It's weird that he picked the word like Foggy as his nickname. Like,
well, no, he's not. He's not blind. Not everybody's blind.
No. I mean, Daredevil calls this guy his psyche. He calls him Foggy.
Well, he calls himself Foggy. I mean, it's short for like Fog Hall or something like that. I don't know, but it's one of those things. It's probably like the modern show really getting some benefit out of the fact that this character first appeared in like the 60s. And so like Foggy, I don't know, made sense back then. But the point is he's keeping his identity as Daredevil, which he's not even called Daredevil until like halfway through the second season.
Really?
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where like I think is it Man of Steel that did that, where his name was Superman because that is what the newspapers ended up calling him. So it's kind of like that. The media calls him the Devil of Hell's Kitchen for a little while, and then he becomes Daredevil later, and then that becomes his name. But the point is he's keeping it from his close personal friend that he's Daredevil. And we also are watching or watched. I guess we are watching it. We've put it on pause for a little bit, but that new Superman and Lois show.
Oh,
relatively
crossing over, huh?
Yeah, because I heard that because I love Superman, and and I heard that it was really good. Despite it being a CW show. I mean, they're not bad, but I mean, tackling Superman, that's pretty big, right? That's you can tackle Green Arrow real well because he's running around in the streets and shooting people with a bow, where Superman's flying into space and battling big things, and so I don't know how that's going to work as a series, but it's actually really pretty good. But again, Superman. But this is when Superman is. This is like later in life. He's already married to Lois Lane. They have kids. They have.
Did you know that Margot Kidder's dead?
I think I did know that.
And suspected suicide. I think that's what the. Oh,
that is a shame. I knew that she was having big problems.
Not that long ago either. But it's
a shame.
Anyway,
but they have kids, and their kids don't know that their dad is Superman. So it's a secret identity thing, right?
Wait, how do they keep that from the kid? Even Black Widow's like family wasn't good about keeping that secret from the kids. Like,
yeah, well, I mean,
they didn't take like all the holiday pictures on the same day. Kind of thing.
Well, they don't. Yeah, I mean, they don't know that Superman is somebody that is even in their sphere of knowledge. I mean, like they know that he exists. In fact, there's one scene where one of them is playing a Superman like PlayStation game, which is pretty hilarious. And his dad goes, and actual Superman walks in and is like, "Oh, you doing good on the game there?" And he's like, I'm okay." Like, okay, but anyway. But here's the thing: is the kids find out in episode 1 that their dad is Superman, and Foggy eventually finds out that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and both of them have the same reaction. And this is where I have the problem: is that they're both pissed and are all, "I can't believe you lied to me." And that is the most ridiculous reaction to that ever. There's no one, upon finding out that your father is Superman, there's no kid in the world from 2 to 70 years old that would react with anger. They would be like, "Cool." It's I don't buy it.
Unless your dad was being a jerk about it, like if you were the kid who was like, "Oh, Superman's amazing. I can't believe Superman," and you're like, shouldn't believe in that stuff. heroes aren't. You know, if you were kind of like two-faced about it or something, I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean, like, and like Foggy is particularly mad because he's like mad for the rest of the series, basically. That Murdoch
they're friends,
does
they're
what
like
he's.
Buddies. They're like,
yeah, it was like you should have told me. You kept that secret from me. I can't believe. Blah blah blah. It's like you don't get any scenario where he might want to keep that under wraps. You can't conceive.
How does he find out?
Why? Basically he has to come clean to. Well, no, he gets beat particularly up, and Foggy has to actually get him and take him home, and that's when he finds out that. He goes to his house.
Him like, hey, Foggy, can you?
No, it was it was a thing where he got like particularly. And that's another thing. We can talk about that too. Is the whole Daredevil thing is like basically Daredevil getting the absolute snot beat out of him every episode. It's like dude.
Well, he's blind.
You're really not good at this. You're not good.
Well,
you really got to stop, man. This is not your thing.
Superpower?
His superpower is like super heightened senses, right? And he can like catch arrows and stuff. Like he's awesome at fighting and whatnot because he uses like echolocation kind of stuff, and his senses of smell and things like that. He can figure out where things are. He does it at one point.
Does he walk into a room? He's like,
yeah, he'll snap. He'll
kind of
snap
give yourself away.
It's pretty cool, but not like while he's in a fight or anything. But
okay. It's like hold on.
but yeah, he basically gets in this massive fight, barely crawls into his apartment, and then passes out. And then Foggy like comes over and is like, "Oh my God, it's the dude!" Because everybody knows about the guy in the black mask, and so like, "Oh my God, it's that dude!" And then he opens the mask and it was like, "Oh." And it's.
But why do you have the audacity to open the mask? He should. Why?
Well, because he's passed out. The guy's, he's like, well, I'm
I know, but you don't like just unmask somebody because they're.
I don't think that there's. I don't think that's a rule.
I think that's a rule. If there's you wouldn't go through their wallet, would you? Like, here's
if there's a masked vigilante that's been running around and he's in all the papers, and you have a chance to find out who he is.
I'm not going to let this mask. I'm worried about he's going to kick my butt.
Well, he's. In a pool of his own blood.
If I'm Daredevil, what's Daredevil's real name?
Matt Murdock.
So if I'm Matt Murdock and Bucky or Foggy, whatever his name is, he's getting all mad about me, like not telling, I'll say, dude, I should be mad that you lifted my mask. Well, you had no business lifting my mask. So we're even.
Well, you'd think, but no.
So who cares?
But
why does he care about what Foggy thinks?
Well, eventually, he kind of doesn't.
Go away, Foggy.
Eventually, it's just like, well, you're mad at me, but I still have to do this. But yeah, I don't buy that. You could not possibly be understanding about why somebody would be secretive about their double life of going out and beating up bad guys
if you
at night.
know, because you're operating in a universe where people understand the superhero genre, right? So they know bad things happen to people who are outed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, now now you could potentially be in jeopardy because of this whole thing.
Right. And guess what happens?
Oh, I can only imagine. Lex Luthor kidnaps the kids?
Yeah, he came out through the universe portal. It was like, hey, this Marvel universe is full of a bunch of saps.
I was back in the Lois and Clark.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that too, actually.
I'm just expecting one of these. I haven't. Okay, so you will be happy to know that I did kind of watch some of the what ifs.
Well, you better keep going because now there's
Henry
a big
was watching
three-parter going on right now.
And so I was like, But then he said that the one that I didn't see, which was just the one where Thor is an only child, and
he has the party.
Yeah, he said like that's the worst one. And
I mean, if you're in the mood for like funniness and like mirth and stuff like that, it's fun like that. I mean, it's basically a Warner Brothers cartoon. It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon with Marvel superheroes, but at the very end, it starts the big giant. This is what this has all been leading up to kind of story.
Right.
Yeah, which is
So I have to watch
Vision / Ultron.
Yeah, so now I need to start watching.
What would happen if he got a hold of the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
And so he's going in between universes and stuff. So now we got to see how they handle that.
See, I'm afraid they're going to actually tie this back to the real storyline.
Yeah, I think that's the point of this. Yeah.
God. Enough with the multiverse time travel baloney.
And the other thing that is that from the previews of Spider-Man No Way Home that has Doctor Strange in it, Doctor Strange does not have scars on his hands in that preview, and his hands aren't shaking. He does it. You can't see the.
Really?
So there's a theory that might be the Doctor Strange from the What If episode. And that's kind of why he's all like, he's different. He just acts different in that preview, and he may not be the same Stephen Strange as we're expecting.
Well, that's weird. That would be unfortunate, I think.
Well, that's maybe why he blew up the universe with whatever happened with him and Peter, because it does seem weird, right? That he would be like, sure, I'll use a spell to.
Oh, you mean in the.
Yeah, just in the trailer that we've seen for No Way Home, he's like, yeah, no problem. I'll use a spell to make people forget you're Spider-Man. Like, he would never have done that before. He would have been like, no, you just have to deal with it. But, yeah, I don't know. I think he's not the normal.
I forgot to tell you, I saw Shang-Chi yesterday.
What'd you think?
Or Shang-Chi or
Shang-Chi, yeah.
Shang-Chi, yeah. I really liked it.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was having an altercation with kids in the theater, but there's that.
That's why we need an Alamo, man.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Really well choreographed. Had a lot of that sort of Jackie Chan style choreography where they're using like bits of the surroundings and all that stuff. It was very cool. But yeah, I like the whole. They changed it from finger rings to these arm ring things.
Oh, that's how they are in the comics.
Yeah, each ring had a name, and they were supposedly had like the.
That makes sense. That'd be 10 then.
Each of them. Yeah, right.
But it wouldn't come on and off the fingers very easily, though. I think
Yeah, I don't know. Like to use as like fighting, like they were in the movie.
Yeah,
no.
They were using it. It was cool, but I liked that they were using it as fighting, but also as a propellant,
right?
And also as a what's the word? It's like to kind of bring yourself in slow, like a landing mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I noticed that from time to time you would see them use it like in that way, like almost as if you you had like a stick, like, or like a stilts or something, like something like a maneuvering mechanism, but they would actually stay consistent with it. So if somebody ever changed directions, like in a way that the laws of physics would not allow for normally, because you would see the ring interacting. They would be using the ring, one of the rings, to make them go in a different direction. So that was kind of cool. I like it was the
neat
integrity.
How they were used in that.
Yeah. They kind of kept to that.
I like the characters. All the characters are really cool.
I mean, and also, I don't want to spoiler alert anything here, but there's definitely a Return of the Jedi moment there.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I've seen this before.
The Ewoks, yeah.
No, yeah, that's it.
Friggin' Ewoks, man. But,
so, yeah, it was good.
That's another one that there's an interesting theory that makes sense going around, is that you saw the very end of WandaVision when she's playing with the Darkhold and she hears her kids go, help me. I have to wait for Jason laughter.
Why would you? Okay.
Hold. Okay. She's playing with that book. And,
yes.
And she hears her kids going, help me. Well, that was the same kind of thing that monster behind the big thing was putting into that dude's head. So it may be that's not her kids that she's hearing. It could be that thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That thing, those things are nasty.
That was gross. Yeah. Big old thing.
Ooh. I love that. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but like, what's the name? I'm gonna use the name. Just stand by me for a second here.
Okay.
Stand by.
Quick Google.
I'm doing a quick Google thing because I would ask you, but then I'd have to describe it to ask you, and then.
Oh.
Yeah, and then.
Might as well Google it because.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's really.
It turns out Toby is its name.
No, that's really. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second.
Okay. You throw me a bone here.
That.
I have no idea.
Okay, Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom
is the name of
the Great Protector, I think.
Oh, really?
Okay. But I didn't realize that was the Great Protector.
That was the name of the Great Protector, or
That's the Great Protector.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I mean, what I'm reading here now says
the dragon thing.
Oh wait, no. Someone else said no. That thing in Shang-Chi is not Fin Fang Foom.
That guy knows his Great Protectors.
Well, now I'm at a loss. I don't want to care this much, Marcus, but now I have to find out. Great.
So we're just going to leave it at that. Okay.
I don't know, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody because it's a big deal in the movie, and it's a big deal, and I don't want to. Yeah. I'm going to have to read these articles now. And
yeah, you can do some homework, do some research here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a wonderful way to finish this show.
Yeah.
Maybe. Go see the movie. If you guys would go see the movie already, we could talk about this stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think that's new rule. We should have we need an accidentally derivative spoiler rule. Like, so when did Shang-Chi come out?
Past a certain time.
When did Shang-Chi come out?
That was what? July, late July maybe?
Oh no, has not been out that long.
Early August. It seems like it was a while back.
Release date September 3rd.
Really? It seems a lot farther back than that.
Where are you stuck? You're stuck in some time continuum nonsense.
As usual. Jesus.
So it's October 3rd today, right? So here's the new rule. New rule is that unless Marcus or I haven't seen the movie already and still intend to, because our rule, we get to make the rules.
That's true.
New rule is that, and we will announce. I think we make a little announcement. Maybe we can have like a little tone or something like before we. It's like, we're entering the spoil zone if you haven't seen the movie. But like, I think after it's been out for a month, we can talk freely. That's how I feel.
That's what. Yeah.
And I think television show, it's a week.
Yeah, because that one's easy to see because it's on your television, or your phone, or your computer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is different because it's in the theaters and people don't feel comfortable. I get that part.
Did it do a Disney Plus
my memory doesn't work well enough to remember these things. If I don't talk about it soon, it's going to go away.
So Shang-Chi, I believe that had some kind of martial art in it. That's all I remember. That's And you'd be correct. But.
What was his name? Chi?
Sean.
I did.
Sean?
I was telling him.
Sean Bean?
I was driving
Sean Bean
crazy.
And the Legend.
He was like, are we going to go see the movie? I was like, what movie? He's like, Dad. I said, I can't remember the name. Why would they? It's a mistake. It's a marketing mistake. I am with names, but this is a name and I'm nervous about pronouncing it incorrectly because I don't want to insult anyone.
Right. Yeah.
And so why can't we just call him Sean?
Sean Bean.
Yeah, that's fine. That would be that much easier. But Shang-Chi,
Sean Bean
is it Shang or Shang? I don't know. We don't know. And why do they have to have the comic relief person in?
Oh, his buddy.
Why? Why?
That's such a trope.
She adds nothing.
She was getting down with them arrows. And that old dude liked her.
She adds nothing.
I wish that old dude hadn't died. He was really cool.
Did I just spoil her?
An old dude died in the movie.
True,
a young dude died in the movie too. I guess. Wonder which one that one was.
I don't.
One guy gets kicked.
Yeah. Google also is suggesting I search for Shang-Chi Daredevil.
Okay.
Because the search may be relevant to recent activity.
Huh.
So now I have.
Do they cross over much? He's in San Francisco, right?
They do. They would cross over then.
Well, Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen. He's in
New York.
New York, yeah.
Well, that's close.
Which is weird. The first season, particularly of Daredevil, acts like Hell's Kitchen is like its own city. Like, it's not even its own borough. I mean, it's it's like a neighborhood. I don't understand why it's like. Hell, I mean, they really, really have their own overblown sense of identity, apparently, in Hell's Kitchen. It's like 20 square blocks or something.
There's a video here from YouTube. Daredevil characters rumored for Shang-Chi fight tournament. But I don't think there were any.
Fight tournament?
Yeah, you know that scene. I don't think there were any.
Yeah. Oh, it's just sort of a speculative who would be fighting in this.
And then there's something here in YouTube says, oh, geez, that's loud. Hello. Sorry. Shang-Chi versus Daredevil in Shadowland. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's like a game?
Well, if he can use those rings, that's a little unfair.
Because the guy's blind.
Well, he's a better fighter than you or I, despite being blind.
What's the deal with... Oh, God, we can't even talk about this. Okay, I feel like we have to talk about this next week. Okay. Or maybe you just cut this part out.
Talk about what?
Well, the end credit scene.
Of Shang-Chi?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with Wong.
You know that almost everyone in the theater was gone?
Why do people do that? How?
Well,
why did you not?
End credit. I mean, like the at the very end after the credits scene.
Is that the one with Wong in it? And
no, after that. It's the one with Captain Marvel and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was the one that had Wong in it.
I don't think so. No, that's the one we know because they're like basically talking about, they're like analyzing the rings.
Yeah, I thought Wong was the one analyzing them.
Well, he may have been there with them, but
because the first end credit scene is
Wong comes
forward while they're in the restaurant. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, and
that's a cool scene.
But he wasn't the Hulk.
They were gonna have to find out what that's all about.
And his arm's still in the sling, so it's like his arm's still messed up from the gauntlet, whatever you call the thing, gauntlet. And I love
Captain Marvel's hair is now long.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, they point out her haircut in Endgame.
I know.
And then Endgame is where dude hurts his arm. So does she just have super hair growing ability? What's that about?
Oh yeah, she does. So then she I don't even know why she had short hair in that. Anyway, so
what was that about? Why?
It was weird. So I love how she's like, I got to go take care of this thing. Like, he'll give you my number. And then she disappears. And he's like, I'm sorry. She does that all the time. Like, she's like, and I don't have her number. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why
that was funny. But it's like the whole Endgame thing where she was like that. She was like, I'm going to go take care of some other stuff. Like, and it's gone for the whole movie. It's like, why did we go through that whole movie to introduce you if you're not even going to be in this freaking movie?
You show up in the last bit, only to have your butt handed to you.
Right. To where it's like, you could fly through Thanos' ship and blow it to smithereens.
Yeah.
But you've got to, like, hand carry football the thing and then why didn't you just blow everybody up that way? I mean, it was like the power level on her is wildly variable depending on what the plot needs.
Yep.
That's a shame. But yeah.
Oh, Carol.